Alrighty, so we are back with Dylan, part 2 of our venturing little mini series, and now we're talking about kind of the terminology and maybe common mistakes. And I know we talked about this briefly in the first episode, but could you give us just a little overview about maybe what programs Boy Scouts of America offers in general?
Mm-hmm. So the core programs that BSA offers, there's, of course, Scouts BSA and Cub Scouts, but there's also venturing in the Sea Scouts. Those are most predominantly the ones that people pursue nowadays.
So venturing kind of fits into the mix. It's a little different than just Scouts BSA because, as we mentioned in the past episode, I think it doesn't, natural age progression doesn't necessarily happen to lead someone into venturing. Could you give us a review of maybe the ages of venturing once again? Who can participate?
Venturing is a program within BSA that's co-ed, and for those who are 14 through 20, they age out at 21. And of course, just to clarify, not only is venturing co-ed as a program, but it's also co-ed in its execution, for lack of a better term. So both males and females can participate in the same activities in the same unit, and it's completely all-inclusive in that regard.
Awesome. What are some common terminology mistakes that you see surrounding venturing?
Mm-hmm. So that's one that's even common across with other venturers is there are terminology mistakes. So venturing is the program, and those who are in venturing, the participants, they're known as venturers, not venture scouts or
Sure.
ventures. That's a lot. Probably the biggest mistakes are those two. It's venture blank, right? So that's definitely a big one. Venturers their units are called crews, not venture crews. They're venturing crews. And so that's where venturers can then work on their awards, which in Scouts BSA, Scouts BSA has ranks. Venturing has awards. So yeah, venturers work on their awards in their venturing crews with the support of their venturing advisors. And the keynote there is they're called advisors because they're not actually the leaders. They're not the ones who are figuring everything out, putting all the details together. In fact, most of the time it's like, I'm here as your personal driver, but you guys have to put this together. You have to figure it out. So
Sure.
Adventurers are the ones who really lead and hence lead the adventure.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's unique. It's similar, like we talked about in the last episode, same kind of values and different things that go into the whole BSA program, but there are some unique differences. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips or tricks for using correct terminology? I mean, you kind of went over them recently, but
Yeah, so I guess the biggest thing is just that, it's important to use the correct terminology just because, it's a program that is now gaining a lot of popularity. And, I want to point out that venturers are scouts, right? We're all in the same program, but, they just have those different names. And so I'd say the biggest thing is avoiding venture crew, venture scout. We're venturers, we're in venturing crews, and so I guess that's just probably the keynote there.
That makes a lot of sense. Tell us a little bit about the venturer's uniform and how someone can spot a venturer out in the wild.
Yeah, so actually I will call you out there.
Oh no, I tried to correct it.
It wouldn't be like a venture scout uniform, but
right.
It's a venturing uniform.
The uniform, for venturing. Sure, okay.
Yeah, so
there we go.
When you're talking about like their units, crews, or their uniform, venturing blank. But when you're talking about, what they are as individuals, they're a venturer.
Okay, sure. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So tell me about the venturing uniform.
Yeah, of course. So the biggest thing about the venturing uniform is that it's green, unlike Scouts BSA tan or Cub Scouts blue. And also a key thing about it is venturing actually does not have it does not mandate that you use their uniform.
Okay.
Crews can actually determine what their uniform is. The crews I've participated in use the official venturing uniform, but it's not required. venturers can decide as a crew to just wear Class Bs, for instance. So just that more informal, casual wear. And just going back to the official venturing uniform, it's a green shirt with gray charcoal pants and gray socks.
Okay, awesome. And then it looks like you have some yellow and white and different badges.
Yeah.
Is that kind of general colors we'll go with?
Yeah, so venturing's colors, you have green and you have yellow. And then also there's that secondary charcoal gray.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. Perfect. All right, well, next episode, we will talk about kind of the awards and influence and maybe some people who have been venturers before. Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Venturing Educational Campaign. We hope you got a lot more insightful details about the venturing program. Just so you know, though, there are accompanying articles with this podcast, which you can find on our website at montanabsa.org. There will be a little bit more detail in those articles, as well as some gaps filled in here or there. So just make sure to check that out. And of course, stay tuned for future installments. Thank you.